So actor Jim Carrey was known for not really giving a shit about award shows, not really caring about the Hollywood culture or Hollywood life. For those who are not aware, Jim Carrey talked about this before, but at one point before he got his first like big acting gig, he was homeless. He was living in his car. So he never really got into all this glitz and glam stuff, and he didn't really care for award shows. That was one of the big thing. Like if he had to be there, he was there, and he would tell you he just didn't really care. So my question is, who the hell is this? Because Melanie King called him Jim Scary. This doesn't even not only look like the same person, it doesn't sound like the same person. And people are asking, what happened to Jim Carrey? Did Hollywood get to him? We'll go ahead and show you this one here.
Bonsoir. Merci beaucoup. C'est très gentil. En tant qu'acteur, chaque personnage.
So first of all, he's speaking in French. His face looks different. I know that's the big thing that people have pointed out, but look how happy he looks to be there. He's not his sarcastic self that he usually is when he has to attend these things.
Que vous incarnez, c'est comme l'argile du sculpteur que vous façonnez à la forme de votre cœur, carré, à boucler le boucle.
So this was the award show that he attended. I believe this award show was in France. And then if you look at the picture here, people are asking what happened to Jim Carrey's face. So he did win an award there. Again, it's not something he particularly cares about. We'll go to another one here. People are pointing out his eyes. So let me just bring this one up here.
Bonjour. Oh, it's a wonderful feeling.
Let me make this a little bit louder for you. He's talking about how this is such a wonderful feeling.
He took on a pretty big challenge trying to do my speech in French.
So trying to do his speech in French. Look how happy he looks to be there. I'm going to show you the contrast in just a second. Look how excited he looks.
Bonjour. Oh, it's a wonderful feeling. I really took on a pretty big challenge trying to do my speech in French. So, I wrote it and I researched it and I practiced it like crazy. But, it's, then I watched everybody like talking 1,000 miles an hour up there, receiving their awards. And I was like, I'm dead. And I made mistakes and I was like a novice, but I felt a lot of love. And I felt a lot of appreciation that I tried, and what I said was true, and I really wanted to recognize my family. I wanted to recognize my dad. I mean, my dad was the type of person that if you met him for 5 minutes, you felt like you knew him for 50 years. I can't talk about him without getting emotional. Oh, loved it. It's so beautiful. And having Michelle, Camille Coton was also amazing. And it was just a brilliant evening,
This was the big kicker. It was just a brilliant evening. So some people say it is him. Some people say it's not him. But the reality is you've never seen him speak this way about an awards show or ceremony ever. His face looks different. It looks like he got like a big facelift or something like that. But it's the behavior for me. People in Hollywood get facelifts all the time. I didn't think that was something he cared about either. You see what I'm saying? But for me, it's his behavior. Jim Carrey never behaved this way, like at award shows. I know I was a Jim Carrey stan. I watched every Jim Carrey movie, like back, especially when I was growing up back in the day. Jim Carrey movies were my thing. So I used to watch a lot of his stuff. I saw him at award shows and stuff like that. He used to make fun of award shows. I'm going to show you the difference in just a second.
Really brilliant evening. Oh my gosh. Benjamin Laverne was off the hook. I mean, I can't believe he committed to doing all that. I was really, is this about someone else? My favorite funny face is the one I'm wearing right now.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Timu Jim Carrey is a really good one. He said his favorite funny face is the one that he's wearing right now. We'll go to another one here. Again, people are just like, who is this? This is all from that same night.
I think France knows a lot about art, and I am touched to be a part of this great tradition.
I don't know what happened with that video. Let me try this again. There we go.
I think France knows a lot about art, and I am touched to be a part of this great tradition. I feel as if I just won the lottery. It's something more special, I think, to come here and be recognized.
So he said that he feels like he just won the lottery. Again, he never cared about these things, you guys. Did not care about
I
it.
feel like I have a connection with people. All of these films that have kind of stood the test of time and been special for people for a while, they're too much to ask for. I'm just the luckiest person in the world that way. You know, all I ever wanted to do was sing to people. You know, the way we sing to each other with our art, with our
Big Fo said it looks like Tom Brady.
writing, with our theater, with our cinema. We are singing to each other. So, you know, I'm just glad that I get to share my song, and I'm glad you're listening, and you're answering back.
Yeah, just very different behavior, different attitude from him there that I've never seen before. But there's something else, you know. So people are pointing at this picture. To be fair, this is, you know, more than 10 years. I mean, you're talking about 20 years apart. People are showing a picture of him from 2006 versus 2026. That is a 20-year difference. But I think the thing that stands out for people are the eyes, right? Like his eyes look different. It looks like, to me, it looks like he got fillers right here in the cheeks, and it looks like a facelift to me. But it's the behavior for me that I was paying attention to. Check out this one here.
And I practiced it like crazy, but you know, it's
Everyone online is convinced that Hollywood has gotten to Jim Carrey because who is this? This is not Jim Carrey, is it? Jim is in Paris because they had the Caesar Awards and he gave a speech there. He was also honored. And typically Jim Carrey doesn't like these Hollywood kind of things. So people were confused as to why he was so happy to be there.
I don't care.
But Jim, you got really dressed up for the occasion. You look good.
No,
Is that an accident?
I didn't get dressed up.
Who did?
There is no me.
There's no you.
No.
We're not here. This is a dream.
Just things happening.
That's the Jim Carrey.
That's the Jim Carrey that you're used to seeing at award shows, not really caring.
That I remember, but people are picking apart his red carpet and his speech from last night. Some people are pointing out that his eyes look very different. They've got a point. Actually, looking at these photos of Jim Carrey from the past, he's got these brown eyes, but last night, whoever that was had kind of like blue-green eyes. I think that Jim Carrey's really gone. Not really. Maybe he's kind of lost himself to Hollywood because the plastic surgery is getting a little out of hand, but the internet's convinced that he's been replaced by a clone. What do you think?
I took
Yeah. So that's what people are saying. They think he's been cloned. Look at this video. This one I think is the most damning. Jim Carrey is left-handed. Watch this.
Sign his autograph? There are 3 details that suggest he's not the real Jim Carrey. First, he used his right hand to sign autographs for fans, but it's well known that the real Jim Carrey is left-handed, and he himself has confirmed this in interviews. Whether writing or casually holding things in public, Jim Carrey always uses his left hand, as it's an ingrained habit. The impersonator might have learned the appearance, but overlooked this small detail. Secondly, his appearance is drastically different from Jim Carrey's. The real Jim Carrey has his signature neat, short hair with a relaxed facial structure that exudes energy, even without exaggerated expressions. This person, on the other hand, has messy long hair that doesn't suit him, a stiff, unnatural face, lacks his signature facial contours, and even appears abnormally puffy. There's no trace of Jim Carrey. Lastly, his pupil color is very different from Jim Carrey's. Jim's eyes are deep brown with a distinct clarity in any lighting condition, which is a natural, identifiable feature of his. This person's eyes, however, are blue, and under the strong stage lights, they even have an unnaturally translucent quality. This is one of the hardest traits for an impersonator to fake.
Yeah. So I think the thing that stands out the most is the left hand versus the right hand, right? But here's what I think may have happened. To me, it seemed like, I don't know, it almost seemed like Jim Carrey took some happy pills. That's what it seemed like to me. Like, I don't know. It's just the behavior is different. Maybe he could have had a facelift. I mean, people do this in Hollywood. I don't know. That wasn't his thing before. Maybe he got talked into it. I don't know. All I know is Jim Carrey seems very different than the Jim Carrey that we all were familiar with, at least from afar, because we don't know him personally, right? At least I don't. I don't know about you guys. But it brings up this question about Hollywood, about how they get people to change themselves, how they mold people into what they want them to be. And Jim Carrey was someone who was always willing to, fight back against that and say, no, I am who I am. I'm not going to, be this puppet that you want me to be. And he never really, got into or cared about those types of superficial things when it comes to Hollywood. And so to me, it just kind of seems like Hollywood got to him. And it happens to a lot of people. So I don't know. But I think the most telling thing, people are talking about the eyes, people are talking about the hair. I think the most telling thing is someone who is left-handed all of a sudden writing with their right hand. That's weird. Crazy stuff, ladies and gents. Crazy stuff. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.